Good afternoon. Right now, I am very happy and a little down because the information, it comes and I work on it, and when I put it on my book, I feel like I forget it because I no longer have it in my head anymore. So I'm not used to that, not remembering or having to just completely just be relaxed after I have a thought. It gets categorized and I forget about it. But when I need it, I know I can get it. So why do I have to remember it? I'll only remember it when I need it. And then I'll use it. But there's so many categories out here. And one of my categories I want to bring up is something in the Bible. Now, I never read really anything in the Bible. In fact, I've read so little that I can say I've read nothing at all. Okay? But what I do remember is the 10 Commandments. Okay? Because God is one. And then he made birth. It took 9. So he had to say 9 different things about what happened upon coming to birth. Now, when Jesus Christ was here, okay, the 10 Commandments were still in effect. As you know, Pharaoh only wanted a big city. Okay, he wanted it for greed. But when you cover the lands and you cover the cities and you build, you are creating. Okay, God put us here, whether we're angels or not angels. When you play a game, you play it right. Okay, and here's how the game goes. In Monopoly, I'm going to be a little off on this one, okay? There's only 9 hotels, okay? So you get 9 hotels to stay. Let's see about the hotels. North America, Middle East, Europe, Asia, Africa, South America. You have 6. 3 are missing. Why are they missing? Do we say the United States, Mexico, and Canada? Is Canada separate from everybody? Because they go .ca. California goes .ca dot. So what happens is 3 pieces are missing in order to do what I said. I only counted 9 places. So 1 place, okay, if there's anything left, it must count for 3. But, and, or, if, this, it, and that is all about the lines. And if you can split the lines at the proper places, right, you can keep a unity, okay, of 3 parts of your telephone. So that unity would have to be in a 5 position. And the only thing I see right now in a 5 position around this world is because Quebec, after Quebec, it really splits the oceans after that. So Quebec, okay, is that split. So now Quebec is that split. When they finalize the game of Quebec and everything is built all over North America, even where the ice is, as we all know, an iceberg has just broken free. They were frozen in hell in the ant, which means the beta world, Arctica of God, okay, of the transfer of the I creation into ice. Now this great iceberg breaks off. For those who froze in hell, now will be unfrozen. Why? Because when the game ends, all the pieces go back. So in order to put all the pieces back, we must take the spirit element where this person froze in hell and put it back into the game. The game is God's home. The soul keeps your body. It's recyclable. There's salt in your body. Salt is a very, very, very big element. So now that we have Quebec, who's connected to the Arctic all the way up at the top, and the Arctic automatically connects the Antarctic, so Quebec is that final piece in all actuality, okay, is dead center. 2, 5, and 8 on your telephone, okay? Up in the corner, which is the 3. So instead of being the 2 plays from the corner of the 3 because she can't play from the 2. She is the 2 that connects 2 sides to make everything even. She creates by the 3 creation. The number of Quebec, Q-U-E-B-E-C, okay, is a 53 count. Q is the 17th letter. U always follows the Q because of birth. It creates the 1 U. The other one's an angel. Okay, so Q and U is 38. E is 5 is 43, which says 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 8. Of the 4 corners of God, 1, 3, 7, and 9. Okay, now what I'm getting to, Q, U, E. Now Beck, okay, is 2, 5. Right away, it starts with beta. B-E is beta. She's the 2. And her position of everything of work is out of the 5. She feeds from the 5 to all the other angles and then gives it back to the ears Okay, the big ears, okay, but anyways, the big ears are done, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay, now I'm a little lost. Said so many things. I think I'm going to just have to go back to Jesus Christ. Okay, no, back to Quebec. So now back to Quebec, we have 2 and 5 is 7, and the C for creation is 3, it makes 10. Those are God's 10 commandments. It's a kiss. It's a kiss from God's world and this world to become one. Okay, those are the 10 commandments. Okay, to become one. Quebec means ass kiss. When you stand up and walk around, if you sweat during the day, okay, any water that gets on you, the elements in the air, the same elements that rise up to the sky and make the skies gray, touch you. Okay, you get dirty, you go wash at night, whatever went into you as an element of creation of God, constantly updating you through the sweat pores, underneath your arms, because the arms were put on after, or down by your pelvis, up your rear end, because it's your rear end that faces down to the ground. Your head in the ground is your ass, okay? And that's why we have your ass, ain, s. Ain means old, your old ass. Your ass has been shitting out and it stinks all its life, but it's brown. And we know brown, okay? Everything that's brown. When you can see brown, it's a good brown, but it doesn't matter if you don't see brown, then there's something wrong. Probably because there's too much element of the oil inside. So now we're going to get back to Jesus again. And we're going to get back to Quebec. Whoops, something happened to my computer. I'm very nervous. You are not protected. Remind me later. Okay. Oh, it went off the screen. I thought I was going to lose it. So now back to Jesus and Quebec again. Since Quebec says kiss my ass because it touches the Arctic, and the Arctic, one pole, because we know the poles go right to the bottom, so Quebec has the connection to all of that. So what happens now, you see, when you're going to play a game, you play Monopoly, you play right to the end, okay? And the end means the end of the game. The banker, okay, has no more money. He was fair to everybody. He gave out the money. God gave out the money to the people. Now the people who play, okay, they go until there's no more money till one owns. Now either this person gives back the money to the people so they can continue the game, or put it back in the bank and the game starts over. That's what God does. The game has to end. You see, in the game was to put houses and hotels on all the properties. That's why there were 9 hotels, okay, for the 9 birth of everybody. And they were red because it was the spirit birth, and the houses were green. And I think there was 24 houses, if I can remember, which stands for man in the heavens. So what happens now is North America has become a national soup. God has re-related all the people after they broke. Before Jesus, every man was apart. They came together with Jesus, splitting from the Jews and the rest of the nations. Okay, they came together with Jesus. Then it spread out all over the world. And God allowed one thing. Everybody can have their own God. As long as what gets before their God, okay, is the 10 Commandments. Because God created Beta, and she's not real. And we follow her commands. Because God's commands passes through her belly. So Allah God, if you want to pray to Him, well, His numbers and what He says is the closest to the 10 Commandments of just about any other God out there. Allah God is a very strong God. It's a Chala God, okay? And the Chala God has to do with the dolphins, okay? It jumps and it goes over, and every time it's going over, it's because there's something over here. They have to jump over. They're jumping over an element, okay, that keeps spinning. That's why everything's a C, because there's a wheel inside here that spins 3/4 around this arm. You don't see anything on this side, but on this side is all the angles and all the wiring. That's why you see bumps on the apples at the bottom. Okay? So now we come into a time, okay, where the banker has all the money, and Krista Berg comes in and says to the banker, I need all my souls. And the banker says, you can't have the money. Which money are we talking about? We're talking about the $50 bill. Go look at that $50 bill. I will do a story on it. But that $50 bill, it's the 5 passage of God, His 10 commandments. We're all 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, which is 100. He's in the middle of the 50 position. He is red of the red spirit. There's a man on that bill. He's got gray slashed hair over to one side, and it says something on every dollar bill. We have a silver and gold lining to it, which means the Canadian money is exactly the colors in connection to what God has chosen. Okay? So what happens now in National Soup and all these races is the love. Every group creates a bubble. So when you're a singleized person, because we all are eyes, God is the small I, okay, because the beta God is the small I, because she holds up the ball, the crystal ball that she moves around, the legs, okay, of the spade and the club, and she spins around it, so she's a small I. So anyways, we pray to all these gods, and it makes bubbles. Bubbles for beta, and bubbles float. Energy floats, okay? So their energy floats, and now my religion and their religion now come together. Not to make one, but to make two individualized of people, because we individualize the people all around the world. We brought out of the soul what we needed to bring out. We can't have one God on earth. We must have many gods on earth. That's why, okay, the Greeks had many gods on earth, because unless you connect to the elements of creation, okay, you have nothing. Everything you see, sand is sandpaper, okay? You can light a match off of it. You can connect. If you light a match with the energies that are in the sky, okay, you create the letter that energy, okay? The ground, okay, the earth element, the material element is what makes that sandpaper. That yellow energy and metals are in our ground that go up into the sky, and it creates lightning and shoots back an energy to us that comes actually out of our ground. Yes, things come out of our sky, but it's in our ground. You see, our earth was created by the 9 planets and pieces and parts of the universe that created God's planet, God's space. So anyways, let me get back to these religions. Now, all these hundreds of religions, and you got to know, my friends, we're all one. I'm not pushing anybody. I'm just telling you what I see. I highly, highly, highly believe what has happened to me in the last 6.66 years has been the most incredible change in the life of anybody. Why would I speak for God? Why? My friends, we all want to know about death. Isn't that what everybody wants to know about? Why do we die? Jesus Christ came here. He came here to create all these religions so we can create the bubble of the element that will rise. When it rises strong enough, or if it's too low, it tilts the balance, and it's a calling for God. Okay? The banker, Red Devil, must give back the money now, because God will tell him to, and then you get back to life, which is a game of bluff. And Christopher says, let's play poker. So they play poker, and the only reason that God wants to win that money is because he knows the soul on the earth, they can't do anything. They're trapped while they're here because they don't have any money. We're trapped in the spirit of money just because we don't have any. We can live all our lives, but we're closed in and we can't go out. And God wants us, he put us outside so we can spread our wings. And to fly means to do things and create, but we can't. We don't have money. Okay? So all these religions have to understand that the God, okay, that we're actually against is the money God. Okay? The money God. Doesn't anybody know the money God? The two spirits of God inside the spirit, which becomes the dollar sign. This is the S. If you turn it around, it's the 5, it's the 2. These bubbles you see up on top is because beta captured the bubble here in the 3 position, and down here by the tail, God in the 7. 3, 7 God. At the end of this tail is the creation of the 7 God, which is the God that we all pray to. This one over here too, it captures a bubble in the 1 position. It passes over beta, passes right through the 3, through the 5 hole. It captures again by circling around the 7 and giving it another tail, or the tail doesn't have an end over here, because this might be man's tail of birth. It starts here by a tail, but this tail continues on the 2. Why did they kill Jesus? Why didn't Jesus just shut his mouth? Why? Because he was here for the association of the entire world. God will only end the game when the 24 houses are used. There is no more money in the bank. Okay, we have to come up with 1 or 2 winners. Okay, obviously, and usually there's 2 people that are pretty close that are against each other. The game stops. Okay, everything's sold. This world, when Jesus was here, there was no North America. So is God going to end the game of creation, which means creating everywhere in this world? Will he end the game before he finishes what he actually started? For the love, for the land, for the property, for the eye of all man, for the me, my, so we all get a free chance. And now I hear, and I said last year, you must invest in Bell landlines. I did a whole story on this inside one of my books. Bell landlines is protected by the yellow earth. The energy in the earth is very hard to pass through. The yellow energy in the universe, okay, is a mix. It's the natural elements of the energy because of the 5 elements, And that's the reason for God 5 in the passage, is all because of the 5 elements, because it's the 5 elements that created everything. I never released this before because I wasn't ready to explain all the 5 elements and how they work. And don't forget, every element has a back door, so the 5, right? And this is the spirit one, so this is a plug-in. These 4 have a back door, make 8. You get 4 and 4 is 8, and a plug-in. And since this is the plug, you plug it in, and these are all your connections, and then we go pray to God for life, because that's how it works. But now, apparently, all these little dots, I want to show you something. See these dots? Hold on, I want to show you another page, sorry. See these squares? Every single square is a human being life. It is your house where you are and what you do. And right now what's happening is we're getting an orange peel put over us. The orange is now going to be the owner of everything. Because no matter what you do with this orange pill life, you cannot win, okay? This is all connected like this. I'm going to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what happens, okay? What happens is this. They create an ear. This is like a clock. This would be Dumbo's ear right here on one side, okay? The other side of the Dumbo ear you don't see, because what happens now are these are all individualized, okay? Okay, and it all passes through this internet in the sky, and we all have our freedom. Okay, this is the way we look right now with our freedom. And the way the freedom goes, can I draw this and look at you at the same time? What happens is it goes like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. And it creates the G. And then this passage, okay, brings it back out to us. What's happening now is this passage here is now going this way. Okay? This one is meeting here, this one's meeting here. Okay? You see that? But the government has just put a bubble over the whole thing. Let me push my computer a little. Okay, well, hold on. Let me show it to you this way. You see, there's been a bubble put over the whole thing now. Okay, this bubble in here. Okay, now it splits out to 2. Whatever goes into this box, okay, goes back to Facebook, Google, My Life, YouTube, Conduit, and any other place till it gets to the core here. Okay, after that it splits out this way and it splits out that way. It used to have only one split, but the envelope, which is the orange holding in the apple, because it's the apple that has all the elements and all the strings that are on it, it's covered up. And then to make it easier, just so we don't make a mistake, I'll show you how it ends up. See this arrow here? That's direct to the government. Right now we are being circled and we no longer have the freedom of rights because of what happened to the internet. Every single satellite, okay, was just lassoed. So whatever goes into that satellite, we are now being heard for everything we say. The only way to go is bell landlines under the ground. You don't want to listen to me. The stock market's in for another correction very soon. I have to find the odd day it goes with, because once I know I'm able to say these words, all right, it's going to strike a night somewhere. I feel like every time I say something, I see what has happened. But nobody else can see what I see because I have it in my head, and nobody can see what's in my head. The only thing I can let out is what I felt today, is that the stock market is in for a fucking big 500 point, 364 to 512 point correction. Anyways, one of the reasons Jesus had to die is because God's land that he built, we were the fingertips and we are the fingertips. We must finish the job. He cannot come, okay? 25,625 years will pass until God will come. He has been here before through Jesus, okay? Jesus was a passage. And I'm going to try and do another thing on the numbers of Jesus, because Jesus' passage is 74, okay, which means beta and God, which means God passed his life through another person named Jesus into this world. But in the year 5775, God can come on his own, because the 5 passage meets the 7 passage of beta, okay? And the beta passage 7 meets the 5 passage of God. And now that God can come here, okay, and act on himself, but he must elect the Messiah. This is a game. In every game there's a winner, there's two people left, one with the money and one with the love. Okay? Who's going to win, the money or the love? God, this is God's world. He made us play all kinds of games. This is a game of jeu. It means juice and love. Okay? Jeu. Okay? This is an orange maison, which means an orange house. The reason this is an orange maison, because every piece of orange is individualized in its own package in an orange. So when you go up to the apple, what I'm trying to tell you about the moon and the sun, well, the orange peel is around the sun. Okay? Inside the orange peel, okay, is the passage of the wiring. They had to cover up the wiring like they covered up our skin on our veins. It's the same thing. It's all far-fetched, whatever I talk about, okay? But as far and as fetched as it is, I went out to fetch far, and I came back with a result. An outstanding result, I know. We must stick together, okay? The energies are now. The Dead Sea, Mediterranean, Suez Canal is payback. You see, the Suez Canal, okay, brings in billions of dollars, $100 billion. It's that red devil energy. The Suez Canal has been opening and shutting her doors for free. Absolutely free, that Suez Canal. So now, if I knew how much the Suez Canal made in money, I could probably do another calculation and tell you that the Suez Canal wants to get paid back now. The only way to pay back the Suez Canal is for us to have the love for the Spirit of God inside of us and inside our soul, because the Suez Canal is the water of God that runs over the ground, okay, and over the ground, okay, and under the ocean, or under the ocean and over the ground, because it splits, okay? Everything is like doubling up and splitting in this world, okay? Double up, double up. So we had the orange here. These are millions of beehives that exist in the NGC Nebula 7286. This is what the moon looks like in the sky. Isn't this what the moon looks like in the sky? Maybe I'm going to just close these lights for a second. And is this what the moon looks like in the sky? Can you see the dark side of the moon? No, it's on the other side. You never get to see the dark side of the moon. It's not lit up. Another thing I want to show you before I stop. Oh my God, I'm all screwed up. Do you know that? I'm all screwed up. I have so much information. I just can't get it down fast enough. I'm going to show you a funny thing about the web. When a creature comes into the web, okay, because of the way God did it, okay, what he did is, this is the web. Whoop. This is the web, okay? Now what happens with the web, okay, it's got to be set up the right way. Here is the connect. Watch. Goes right through, no problem. Here is a virus, okay? Here is the web, here's a virus. I'll put it in this hand, I'll hold up the web, okay? I'll just hold it up, hold on a second. Hold on a second, holding up the web. It's not easy to hold up a web, you know. So I hold up the web, okay? And then I put the virus. And they're all stuck, the keys. Look, the keys are all stuck. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, it's fun. And that's why they have Santa Claus, and he comes and he sings jingle bells, because he's got to break through all the strands of spirit to get where he is to where we are. So it's a representation, these bells. The Liberty Bell, oh, another representation, because if you slice the Liberty Bell in half, just a slice of each side, okay, the cut part will show a 1, the other part will show a 1, and you'll look across, and you'll split the bell right in half. You'll automatically have covered the 4 corners. That ball that's inside the bell, the reason it's inside the bell, it's because it's that ball that distributes to the 8 parties, and then back to your mind, and then back to Beta and God and the sun and everything else. The animals know whatever energy we are transmitting now, like I said, whatever church you're from, okay, if there's another church, be happy. As long as you see 10 Commandments, 10 Commandments feeds off of everything. The 10 Commandments is a feeder for everything and every existence, and I'm going to prove it right now. If you just let me go into my files over here. Where are my files? Oh, here. I got my files. I got some of my files. Hold on. Let me see my files. Let me see. I can't see it in my files. Can't see it in my file. I'm not going to be happy if I don't see it in my file. Ah! And the first one I find. The Ace of Hearts. So what we're going to do is we're going to see, since we're all hearts, and our ass is pointing up, so all I'm going to do is not good, eh? It's a strawberry or a turnip stuck into the ground. Because we're connected there, our energy goes in through our ass. Okay, it's the only thing sticking down, and it sweats, okay? Everything comes out of there so it knows. So there's things going in and out of our ass we don't even know about, okay? The point is like a director, okay? It's like the board of directors. And here we have one of the reasons for lopsided breasts and curved mustaches is because of this, okay? This ace, okay, in blackjack tells you everything. The reason it tells you everything because blackjack is a game of 10, 10, 10. Jack, queen, king are all 10s. So this is what happens, okay? In craps, you get to one, you lose. One beta god and one god. You got the same thing. You're already the god and the beta god. You got the 2 dice in your hand, so it's an automatic loser. So when you get 1, 1 or 1, 2, you lose, okay? What happens now is like this. I'm going to show you the simple way. Like I said, God eats things, okay? God learns to even things out. 1 and 5 is 6. But in blackjack, you can lose the 1 is 11, so you got 16. So since you got 16 and the 1 is like the ace, you got 17. But the 1 is like an ace again, so you got 18. So 1 is like an ace again, you got 19. The 1 is like an ace again, you got 20. Now you don't have an ace anymore. Now you got a 2 and a 10, you got 12. Now you got to pull another card and take a chance, see if you're going to create life with 21. It's all that easy. Jesus died on the cross, okay? God can't come here. He must pass with the mask of another, and that's why we have all these picture cards. So he passed through the soul body of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ made everybody aware, and that body was only here to make everybody aware. Next time he comes, he's got to think of a winner. He must have a Messiah here, because he needs someone to welcome him. Who's going to welcome God when he comes if we don't have a Messiah? There's got to be one person that welcomes God, or 2 people that welcome God, 3 people that welcome God, 4 people that welcome God. Why do we have 4 people? Because it was the 4 people of creation, okay? The 4th person, all the people that welcome God, and when you go into the Olympics, okay, you put in the 1st on the pole, the 2nd on the pole, the 3rd on the pole, and you say, well, what about the 4th? Well, he was the one that closed in the rest of the crowd because he was 4th. He was 1st after the first 3. Because everything is a division and a dividing and anyways like this. First, ST, but last finishes with ST because last touches first. Okay, that means your ass touches his dick because he'll run up your ass. Second is ND, and that's individualized because there is no other word that says second, ND at the end. Neither is there third, and neither is there 4th. But 4th is the first one of TH. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 10, and that's perfection. So now you have the TH group. Now the TH group lasts from the 4th all the way to the 19th, but the 20th century fox, they add an I into it because it's in the beta world, and she has to become that I pawn. God becomes the I, she sits on top of it, okay, and they make babies of the world. Well, now creation and national soup has all come together here and right now, started with the full moon the other night. The new era has begun. Ending 2014, 1 year for preparation and setup for the new conscious mind, and in 2016, the beta world of 1/6 of man, the new conscious mind, and the Messiah will walk the new road. Well, and the banker, well, we'll talk about that later. I am Raphael 7286. We do it for us. We do it for us. We are all I's. I was going to tell you something about I and my, but the word I and my, and I tore apart that whole thing, my, I, you. I tore apart so many things. I will tell you one thing. I looked at Israel, okay, the Mediterranean, the Dead Sea, when they match and meet. Salt means to sell. Sell means money. Sell is salt for the energy. When you look at Israel, okay, and you look at that whole, go to YouTube, okay, and look at the Middle East, okay, outline the whole Middle East. You'll see it looks like a dog that has a hat on his head, The hat is square. You can see the couple of things coming down on him because of the rivers or lakes that are around there. And he looks like he's a dog. He looks like a student. He's wearing a big robe. Okay? So that means the student came out of the Middle East. Okay? But the student turned into a white ghost bear up in the Arctic. And then he mellowed out and came down around Quebec a little bit lower. And right now, he's in extreme. So take care, my friends. We must join and do not worry the way it is. Because it is like it is and it's not so bad. When God's right behind you, we have to beware and watch out because he's in you.